This is The Bump, the one podcast SA footy fans need to hear, where the biggest names tackle the biggest South Australian footy stories. Roo, Dits, Bernie, Jars, Triple M's The Bump.
Hello everybody, welcome to the top rating Bump here.
Hey.
I've got Bernie Vince, the superstar of South Australian football,
Hi,
and Mark the Rupert Risciuto. Good afternoon to you, the superstar of South Australia as well.
Hello, Sugar Daddy. How are you?
Not too bad.
Back in the host chair.
Yeah, well, where's Christopher Dittmar?
He's getting his grand final tickets already for Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide.
Come on.
Mate, they had a
They
massive
played the
win.
Eagles.
They beat the Wooden Spooners.
Witches hats, Roo.
Are you kidding? Hey, all you can do is beat the opposition, Bernie.
Well, that's true.
Right?
Was there any out there?
He's a
When are the
nervous
opposition
wreck,
rocking
he
up?
is.
They were out there for 2 quarters, the first and the third.
Bloody hell.
They're a little bit
Jeez.
better, the Eagles. A little bit better. They had
Cockle divers would have been more competitive than the Eagles.
the cockle divers. No, but look, they had some. They look fitter,
They do.
but they haven't got the depth.
No.
They got about 10 good players.
That's about it.
Their
Drops
top
off.
10 are right, and then after that they do drop away. But
Andrew Gaff. What's happened to him?
Retire.
those sort of
Go.
players are good in good sides, aren't
Retire.
Go
Just
now.
retire. Yep.
Go now.
Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast. Let's talk about that performance on Saturday night up there. Yes, we know it was wet and windy and slippery, but what's your take out of the Adelaide Crows, Burn? Disappointing performance on the road.
No, it was. I was starting to look up lowest ever scores for Adelaide Footy Club coming up to 3/4 time. I think we kicked one late in the third quarter,
Yeah.
which sort of saved that. But yeah, forget the conditions. I know they were, well, atrocious, really. Yeah, it was okay for the Gold Coast. They were scoring pretty easily. So
they? They'd probably trained in it and lived in it for a while, but didn't stop the conditions didn't stop the Crows in the last quarter.
I know, that's the thing.
The last 10 minutes,
So
wasn't
how does that happen? I don't know what changes. It didn't look like too much changed, but
I would say it's a bit of a mindset thing, wouldn't it?
mindset.
Absolutely.
The tackling dropped off though as well. Like if in a game like that, you'd think you'd be hard at the footy and tackling, but they just beat them up.
Crows?
Rao again was
outstanding.
very good. Barry tried to
Outstanding.
go to him a little bit.
The
but
contested possessions and clearances were pretty even.
Yeah.
they were in the
Right
end.
there.
The only real difference was
ball use.
the way they ran with the ball. They got it from the inside to the outside, and that's how they got their scoring.
Yep. They played wet weather footy better, didn't they? Like, well, they might be used to it, Roo, like you said, because it's
But
always
the
pretty
Crows
slippery
played
up
stop-start footy across half-back. When the Crows play that brave attacking, go full throttle football, they're as good as anyone in the comp.
And that's why
But
they
on
scored more than anyone else last year. But they couldn't link
But
up at all, could
stop,
they?
Yeah, stop-start.
there. Was it
stop-start.
really a
Kick
link-up
mark, kick-
type game, though, was it?
Yeah, but
Oh,
try
geez,
something.
But
Get it
Gold
forward.
Coast managed
I
to
know.
do it. That was the surprising thing. And I think Matty Nick said they were cleaner and they used the ball better, and they did.
Yep. Because in a game like that, it's all about yardage to me. Just get it forward, kick it forward long. But they were actually playing a little bit of dry weather footy, I
Yeah.
should say, in a really wet, disastrous day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what to take out of this game. It's very hard
Well,
very hard to
they
judge.
better
That last
find
quarter,
something.
outstanding.
Last 10
Rochelle,
minutes,
Rankin, they all just
kicked,
stood
yeah.
up in
And
the big
Soligo.
moment. Nearly pinched it. What was either sub, by the
Well,
way?
I said last night
he
on the
hasn't
show.
played. He's played a half of
Well,
footy in about
well,
6
Rude.
weeks.
But when he
playing.
came on against West Coast in that trial game,
Yeah.
he was
But that's the
a
only little bit he
different
played.
level.
That's the only game. That's
Yeah,
the
that
only
was
footy he's
2
played.
weeks ago. Surely he's got some work in since then.
He's got work in, but no game time.
Start him and then sub him out.
Yeah, but
Because
then,
the boys might have been in front because he's the cleanest player out there.
Geez, he looked clean.
hindsight's a wonderful thing. Did you say that Friday on your show?
What did I say?
I didn't know he was a sub.
I didn't know he was a sub.
That's a very good call.
Yeah.
Anyway.
no, look, he's going to be a star. He was the number 1 trainer at the Crows pre-Christmas.
I like
and
How good is he going to be? Like the two
Well,
very
how do you
small
know,
snippets we've seen. One in really wet conditions, looked clean, looked like a dry weather game for him.
Yeah.
About the only player out there. And the West Coast game, I know it was against West Coast and it was a trial game, but when he got injected into the game, he was best on ground by an absolute mile. He just looks clean. He looks sharp. Uses the ball well. Finishes well.
Yeah.
I think we might have a really special one in Jake Soligo.
Oh,
I
let's
like
hope
this.
so.
It's good call, Bernie Vince.
Let's
Good
hope so.
call. I'd like to see this midfield start centre bounce, Rankin, Rochelle and Soligo and Dawson off the half-back.
What, just all kids?
Get him
just
in
put
there.
all
Light
3
bodies.
kids in there.
Clean, smart, and got speed.
All right, you come up
Bit
against
like
the
Port
Melbourne.
Adelaide.
You got Petrarca,
No,
Oliver,
I'm just saying
and
for
Viney.
this weekend. Let's
They'll
try
get
it.
pushed out of the way.
Yeah, well,
you
yeah,
need
yeah,
some big bodies in
I
there.
know that. Who's our big body mid in there?
Dawson.
Matty Crouch.
6'3".
Nah, get him back on half-back.
What do you mean?
Nah.
He nearly won the Brownlow, best and
Rupert,
fairest
or
last
get him
year.
on a wing because he can hit that last kick inside.
Can't you do that from the
450.
centre
Dawson's
square?
the only one who can hit a target.
Can't you do that from the centre
Why
square?
do you just keep bombing the ball? Bomb to Fogg.
You've got
Keep
Rankin
breaking
in there. You got
fingers,
Rochelle
Lenny.
in there. You got Pedler in there.
Keep the doctors busy, Lenny.
I like Pedler.
Don't
like
pot Laddie. When he
No,
comes
we
on your
love him.
show, you suck up
we
to him.
don't.
we
He
love
knows
him.
we're critical of him.
We love him.
Yeah,
He has
God.
33
Bloody
disposals
hell.
and all went to Gold Coast.
At least he got a couple of yellow jackets. He must be doing something right.
Oh, well, he's a club champion, and we bloody
Dual
got to respect
club
that.
champion.
Dual club champion.
You know what
Don't
duel
talk.
means? And it's not a fight.
No.
Yeah. Bernie,
What?
don't go down that path because
No.
you know I'm still sensitive about 95.
You
With a
throw
golf
your
club.
club sticks in the ocean.
Yes, I did. No, in the West
In the
Lakes
lake.
Boulevard when I left the club that night.
Didn't even
All right.
see Matty
remember it.
Connell's speech. Didn't even see the shake of hands.
You know
Susan,
what that
the best
reeks
and
of?
fairest.
I hugged him.
1995, Matty Connell and the door shut. There's Jazz.
Hey.
And then door shut again. Maz chasing him.
I lost by one vote.
Andrew, where you going?
It is what it is. And I've moved on.
No, you haven't.
But the clubs are
Kane
in the
Corns
West
did
Lakes
the same
somewhere.
thing as that. You're in
Don't
red
you
territory.
dare put me with a little young
Well,
stud.
that's what he did. He left the best and fairest.
Nah, it was a good night. I hugged Matty Connell even though I fed him 80% of his body.
He's really let it go.
Come on.
How many years ago was that? 30?
And he sucked up the coach all year that year to bloody get the votes.
No, I
You did.
sure,
You used to go around there for tea
He
all the
came to my
time.
house with fish and chips and a Coke. No,
How did that relationship
not
end?
good.
Now, I tell you what, I'll watch all the footy shows just so we're right across the bump because we need to lead the listeners here on all the information.
Yep.
Nathan Buckley has been very bullish on the Crows for the last year or so, and I think he said, look, these guys could go all the way. They could be a top four side. But last night, or Monday night on the catch, Nathan Buckley had this to say.
The quarter four effort compared to their first three quarters was chalk and cheese. Right. And there's too often. I'd be really interested to sit in Adelaide's review. I think it's a moment where the coach and the playing leaders are going to say that that's enough. That's enough close performances where we come back from behind.
Enough excuses?
I think so.
I think they're a bit of an excuse.
No, I don't think they're making excuses at all. But if you want to be an almost team, well, then continue down the path that you've been down for a whole year last year. There's young players there. I think they've got natural growth within them. But they've got to decide, are they going to be winners or are they going to be almost?
It's pretty strong, and if you're shooting to play finals football, which has been all the talk out of the club all summer, I think that's fair enough.
Yep.
And what would you guys be thinking that Matty Nixon, the players, would be saying to themselves? Surely, if you're saying you're going to play finals footy, you're not accepting that. You're not saying quarter of an hour of football is good enough.
No, that'd be a tough review, no doubt about it. And it's easy. It's easier to come back when you're 6 goals down and have a crack in the last quarter and nearly get there.
And that's what Bucks
than
is
it
saying.
is to get that lead.
Do it
You have to
early.
Stand up and do it early. Get a lead, and then if they come back late, you've got that little buffer. It's almost almost that free hit, isn't it? It's like when you're playing a top 4 side when you're 12th. It's
Not
it's
expected
a
to
free
win.
hit, not expected, and you tend to go a bit better because it is a free hit. When you're expected to win, Adelaide's sort of got this problem. When you're expected to win, you don't go quite as well. So I reckon it'll be a tough review. And a tough game to come in for. Poor old Lockie Gallant comes in, or Gallant, however you say it, comes in and it's an absolute, it poured down the whole game. It's a bit unfair.
None of the key forwards from either
terrible.
side
It
did
wasn't
anything.
King
Ben
had 4 touches.
Wasn't there? No.
Catsbolt,
Fogarty
Lukosius
was
only
quite-
kicked a
yep.
point.
So when I heard young Hingy on another radio station, he said that the review wasn't brutal. It was it was some good honesty about the performance, but it wasn't a brutal review, as Nathan Buckley mentioned, that it should be brutal.
Yep.
And after round 1, please, let's just let it breathe. There's still plenty of football left.
Yeah, there is. But you got to live in the moment. The season can quickly get away
Of
if you
course
don't.
it can.
If you start accepting these things, that's what can sneak into your season. Then you just miss the 8 again.
You've got to be honest,
Like
don't you,
just
Bern?
missing on the weekend, you
Yep.
just miss the 8, and you go,
missed.
"Oh, we're unlucky. We lost this
Yep.
many games under a goal. We lost another game under a goal."
up in the Gold Coast in the wet, maybe another game on you can hide. But I'll tell you what, you can't hide on Friday night football. There's going to be 50,000 Adelaide over. There'll be 1 million people watching on TV. Tex Walker, is he going to play? Is he not? He was on the breakfast show on Tuesday morning.
If I get through tonight, I'll be all ready to go on Friday night.
Yep.
So. No, I'm feeling heaps better, which was as compared to this time last week. I was in an average state, but the old back spasms aren't fun at all. I reckon I'll be right.
He walked into the studio, the Tex Swagger. I think he's, unless something goes pear-shaped at training or he gives it a little jag, he'll be playing on Friday night. 25 degrees Friday, perfect conditions.
There you go.
Should be a cracking game. And the Cats look pretty good last
pretty
week.
good. Got it done. Saints were pretty good against them as well. Watch that
Saints,
flicking between that game.
Port Adelaide on Sunday against West Coast Eagles, 50-point win, 24 behinds, 40 scoring shots to 20.
Yeah.
Port Adelaide, they've got a couple of gears now, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've developed a couple of gears, and their recruits did pretty well.
No, very well.
Soldo.
Soldo was very good, wasn't
Ivan.
I like to see it for a few weeks first, but a very good start.
You'll get a good guide of how good he's going up against Nankervis, his captain. I mean, Bailey Williams, no disrespect, he was trained all summer as a forward for the West Coast Eagles, had to go into the ruck because Matty Flynn's out. Yep. So different assignment up against the Nank on the MCG.
Can be a bit nasty too, the Nank, so that'll be good. Good little battle.
They can both be a bit
They
nasty. They're both Croatian.
Ding-dong battle.
And, when you're up against your old side and, you're the understudy,
you want to impress.
This will be a cracking contest, this ruck contest. I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's going to be a good game because Richmond were impressive over the weekend.
Do they go after Soldo a bit, the players?
Like Hawthorn did to, like Essendon did to Sicily.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah.
Oh, vicious.
It was hardly a kick, was it?
Yeah, but he got attacked by about 8 of them. Where's his teammates?
He got done for that as well.
I was always in there trying to protect him.
He got done for that too. A week.
Richmond were good. They got some injuries. Presty with his hand. Gipkus did his knee. The other defender got concussion. But that'll be a good game at the G.
Travis Boak, 350th game, 35-year-old. Where do you rank him? Where's he ranked?
I think he's the perfect team man, club man.
That's a good call.
For that group. Like what he's done with Horn Francis in the off-season, what he did with Butters and Rosie.
Pow Pepper.
Got Pow Pepper on board. He lived with him. Yeah. He resisted going back to the Cats. Would have been easy for him to do it. They flew over.
Probably would have won a couple
checkbook.
of flags.
Yeah, won flags. He may well be the most important player in their history.
He stayed there at a really tough time too.
Did
2010, 2011. That was when Scott
got the
came
tarps
over
out not long after.
Yeah, so it was a really tough time at Port Adelaide. The easy decision would have been, let's get out of here. Let's get to somewhere back home, comfortable. But he made the tough decision to stay. Now, I mean, he would have got paid well for it, but it was a tough decision, and he stuck it out, which is really impressive.
Absolutely.
And he's been a great teammate.
That's his quality.
A great player.
Yeah. Great integrity.
He probably hasn't been their best player.
No, not their best.
But he's been their most important, maybe.
Yep. He's been the glue, hasn't he? He's been the constant.
The glue.
That's held them all together. Yeah. When Robbie Gray was going, he kept him there as well. No doubt, if Travis Boak didn't stay, I reckon Robbie Gray would have gone, and then that club team would have, all just could have fallen apart completely. But they bounced back quickly because he stayed, and he was able to, as I said, he was the glue of that footy club, and he's done very well with the young players.
He's done very well. I'm looking forward to seeing how Asava Ratugolea goes this year because he couldn't get a regular game at Geelong. He was dropped last year. They say he was down on confidence. His best, he looks like Alir.
Yep.
His worst, which he had a couple of games last year where he couldn't hold up. Judge him when he's playing against the best sides.
Yep.
And they reckon he's as good a bloke as you can meet.
Yep.
He's an absolute ripping person. So to have him in the back line with Alir, it looks like a bloody strong defence. And Zerk Thatcher will do the lockdown stuff.
Yep.
And then Ratugolea and Alir can do the intercepting. And if they get it right, that could be the difference in them being, a very good side in the home and away series to a serious premiership contender.
I've never seen a team recruit as well as what Port have for needs than this year, I reckon. You know how people take, so-and-so's coming home, Horn Francis is coming home, let's try and get him. Yes, they probably need the midfielder, Port Adelaide, no doubt, but and the Crows getting Rankin. Yes, we needed a small forward, but the Port Adelaide needed a ruckman, needed a good ruckman and key backs, and they got two pretty good ones in the backs, and they've got a ruckman that more than held up on the weekend.
Yeah.
So the needs basis, what they did is went out and got exactly what they needed and got it done. A lot of people go out and want to get something done, doesn't quite get done, and they sort of get their second or third option maybe for a key back or a ruckman. Ruckman are hard to get.
Well, Soldo was contracted too,
so hard to get. So for what Port Adelaide's done, you got to tip your hat to them.
I reckon Jason Cripps could be a dual best and fairest at that footy club
he
as a
should
list
get
manager.
He should lose by one vote to someone so he can throw his clubs in the lake.
No, his clubs are too good. He's had a great time there.
He'd probably win it.
Let's have a listen to Ken Hinkley on what he thought about the Port recruits.
We're still waiting to see. I mean, today was a great starting point for all three boys. Highlighted why Jason went after the boys that we needed, and they all showed today little bits of helping us get better, I think, and that's what we looked at that through the off-season. We looked at the places where we needed to make some gains, and those three boys have certainly added to that in round one. So it's a long way to go, but it was a nice start by all three.
Not bad. He's happy.
Yeah.
Nah,
He's
summed
happy.
it up well.
Yeah, good start for him.
Very good.
Tell you what the surprise packet was on the weekend was big Chuck Dixon up
That young
forward in the
fella,
first half.
that new recruit, Charlie Dixon.
Well, everyone
he
had said he'd
finished.
hardly trained over the summer. His groin was stuffed, his foot was stuffed.
Got
I'll
no
tell you what,
ankles.
weren't stuffed, his hands.
Nah, he was brilliant. Should have kicked more too. Missed that one from the goal square, and he was more than just that target that brought it to ground.
And
He
you
was
know what?
more than that.
Did it on bloody Tom Barras
Yeah,
as well.
very good defender.
Was he getting double teamed?
No,
Okay.
he was after he started dominating, but he was on fire.
No, he's a beauty, Chuck. He's a beauty. And what about Toddy Marshall? His performance?
Kicked a few points, but kicked 3 points, I reckon. But not his best game, but they'll get better.
Okay.
They'll be all right.
No.
But very impressive,
Keep
Charlie
going,
Dixon.
Chuck.
I want
Just-
to see a bit more.
We'll find
Do you
out.
reckon you can go
5
and
weeks.
give Jeremy Finlayson some goal kicking
No,
practice?
that's not my job.
He's got perfect technique.
Nah.
He's a beautiful
Full behind.
He's a
ground
beautiful
kick.
looking kick.
Around the grounds, he's elite, and then coming
Smooth.
What
How
he
did
kick?
he
4
go?
points.
How did you think? Because he didn't get a look in the pre-season program. How did you think he?
Look,
he
the only reason he's in is because Ollie Lord's out.
right. But did you?
I think
he,
they lost faith in him. They dropped him in the finals last year.
Yeah,
They
okay.
didn't play him in the game against Freo.
Yeah.
Ollie Lord's gone out.
Yeah.
He comes in as a second ruck, and I tell you what, I mean, he's the leading goal kicker from last
I
year.
know.
If he can, it must be in his mind. Apparently, they've got who's their goal kicking coach, Judge?
Where's he from?
The UK.
He's the UK.
Is he?
Yeah.
What is he, a spot kicker?
No,
They need to put it on
I'm
a
going to
little
ask,
cone.
got to stir Dits up about this. He's
Or a
always
soccer.
into everyone else about goal
He's
kicking.
a penalty kicker.
Port Adelaide got a bloody soccer player as their goal
And before we
kicking
wrap
coach.
up, the Tassie Devils. Thoughts?
I like it.
Love
Yes.
the logo, the
Yep.
jumper, the name.
Will it
Oh,
happen?
yeah.
The 19th team.
Will it happen though,
Yes,
Jars?
it will.
When?
2028,
Right.
round
Are
1
you
v
coaching
Collingwood. No, not at all.
Who will coach them?
He put his hand
That's
up.
a great
That's
question.
5 years away.
That's
It's bloody
great.
hard to predict
Who's out
something in
there?
5 years.
Who's out there?
Anyone
What
could
do
do
they
it.
need?
They need a established.
Experienced coach, I would have thought.
Experienced.
Big name.
In 5 years' time. Will Brendan Gale be the new CEO of the
Yes.
Tassie?
Yep.
Oh, hello.
Will Chris Fagan find his way back there as some sort of role, former Tasmanian?
I know where you're going.
Little
I
plum
like it.
tickler there,
There we
sugar.
go. That's the old bump. We'll be back
The
next
old.
week. Thank you, chaps.
Roo, Dits, Bernie, Jars. Triple M's The Bump.